Alright, now we're going to be changing gears here a little bit. Taking a look at an early Crystal Dynamics game. It's kind of a comedy game.
We don't see enough of that as far as I'm concerned. There should be a lot more satire and parody in video games, I think.
I love this little intro here. Just the kind of cartoon animation.
Yeah. So, as you said, this is a interactive comedy.
Now, it's a point-and-click type adventure, but instead of going the Tom Zito, I want to rape your mom route, it's going the let's make fun of ourselves route. It's basically telling the story of King Arthur and Camelot with dragons and just changing words around.
Yeah, and this was made for, you know, other systems, not just the Saturn. And,
yeah, I believe this ended up on the PS1 as well. I think it was on Saturn first, though.
So, it was another take at the interactive entertainment genre, and this is a little more actual video game than some of the digital pictures stuff that Sega helped release for the Sega CD. So, Crystal Dynamics is a company that would go on to have a lot of great titles for the Sony PlayStation. And
now,
again,
I clicked on that for a reason, because this basically gives us an idea of what the early Crystal Dynamics stuff was. They included this on the disc, just to give you an idea.
32-bit lineup with all the nose-bleeding, brain-bruising, and eye-grabbing power that you'd expect from the leader. Third-generation 32-bit software. In your face.
Now here you'll see 3D baseball, which is a pretty good take on the genre. Got some basketball action going on. More of the dodgeball thing. Solar Eclipse, which added in full motion video sequences. Legacy of Kane, which we'll talk about its sequel in our PlayStation era.
Gex, which we'll play during our PlayStation 1 Console Wars of the Past.
Good games we could play.
Off-World Extreme Interceptor.
So, as you can see, Crystal Dynamics had a lot in the works. And unfortunately,
I think he's dead.
Hey, pal, walk it off.
Wow. Despite how intense that was, none of them really took off.
Outside of the Legacy of Kane series.
Yeah, and that was almost kind of a sub-cult deal of its own. I mean,
yeah,
you know, it was kind of to a dedicated audience. And so
mostly vampire fans.
Vampire fans love it, and that's too bad. They had some cool original concepts like this. That's pretty cleverly written.
Yeah, that's the thing about Crystal Dynamics. They're kind of the auteurs of the industry.
The raid wasn't a complete
where they
loss,
just
George.
throw some original ideas out there and see what it flies.
Yeah.
And you'll have a lot of storytelling in this, which, no matter what, well, yeah, you can skip them if you press start. I tried the other buttons. It's been a while since I've loaded up my old Saturn collection. This is our main character, Flick.
Clock is a splendid invention, but adding the snooze
He's an inventor.
Genius.
Now, this story for this game was written by Terry Gilliam of Monty Python fame.
I just want to test the snooze level one more time.
So as you can tell, it's very British. And
I'll tell the king our absolute sorry.
if you like Monty Python, you're probably inclined to like this. As far as
Whoa, hold
funny
your
video
jingle bells.
games, this probably can only compete with you know,
Tell the king
LucasArts
I'm on my
stuff
way.
during the 80s on the PC.
Maybe it's about
Yeah,
running across the back
you
of
don't
the
see too
tournament
much of this
tomorrow.
genre anymore,
If
and
I
it's kind of
can't win,
sad.
Princess Flame will be forced to marry someone else.
Now, it's a kind of a short game. You only have like, you can beat it in probably about 6 or 7 hours, but that's if you did everything right. It's a lot of trial and error. Like here is a speak option. Here's a look option. There's a grab option. So I want
A good inventor always
to grab
has
this
his
book.
So it's basically a point-and-click adventure with some pretty cool cutscenes, full animation. You know, you can see in the background there's some things moving around, and
The only drawback to my alarming clock is that I have to wake up and wind
again,
it
this
every
isn't
10
a game
minutes.
that's gonna catch on with the mass market, and
It's a photo of Princess
it really
Flame.
seems that the
She's
Saturn
the
lacked
apple of my
those
eye,
games.
the cream in
Can
my
we get it out of
coffee,
this room so
the
we get rid of
frosting on
that
my
clock?
cupcake. Strange.
Oh, sure.
Whenever I think of Flame, I get
As soon as he
very
shuts
hungry.
up.
We have a lot of ticking. I feel like
You're on the clock.
I feel like there's impending doom coming towards us.
Yes, but this game is not impending doom.
Not too much impending doom. A lighthearted adventure, and not even in space. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's medieval though, so that draws
So-
on the other one.
Yeah, so it's a play on, you know, all the medieval stereotypes and all that.
And yes, you can open up your inventory. Okay, let's go to the library.
So Crystal Dynamics is British, and so we got to see some cool British stuff come out around this time from them, Psygnosis.
Just the enchanted doorway
I'm not
which
sure
leads
if
to a
Core
parallel
was
universe
British,
populated
but,
by mythical beasts, evil goblins, and strange seaweed.
They were involved with
kidding.
Eidos,
It's
I
back
believe
out to the
Eidos
hall,
was. So during the mid-90s, there was quite a few British developers that kind of popped up on the PC and on the early disk systems, and a lot of them kind of faded away or got bought out, but I always liked the British humor involved in games, and things like Worms and Lemmings and something like this.
Yeah, they can just infuse their humor into the game and not force it on you. It's not like that funny, haha, it's funny like, ha! Oh yeah, I got that.
They don't have to tell you the joke
only an hour,
for you to get
mate.
the joke.
Yeah, they kind of subtle with it. That's the best thing about British humor.
Which is, of course, the best kind of satire.
Yes.
But,
Your attention, please.
your attention, please. Yes, yes. Mm. So it's all very just over the top.
The king is
The knights are complete morons.
Yeah, you know, definitely some
sorry.
Python-esque
Must do something,
uh,
Rebecca. I
type of
refuse to
comedy.
marry one of these flaming idiots.
I'll try, Flame. I promise. Uh-oh. Visitors.
And then we have the
Humans in Camelot?
evil villains.
humans. It's always the humans.
That's because we're destroying everything.
I like how nasty and disgusting the humans look, too. The yellow nails, the yellow teeth, the just sinister looks.
And they're just disgusting. Once you get later into the game, you'll see how disgusting some of these characters are. There's a part that has to do with the king's, I guess his sewage. Yeah, it gets pretty rotten there near the end.